For generations, Europe's oldest living culture was told to be ashamed.
Sami was a dirty word.
A language silenced.
We got that flag down our throats all the time.
An identity suffocated.
You have reindeers, you live in a tent, that's the stereotype.
Now a new fight is unfolding in the Arctic. Not against the past, but over progress.
Why is it now safe to dump in the fields?
Every minute that we stop them from detonating is a minute that they don't destroy indigenous land.
Using Sami territory for Europe's clean energy goals.
It's going to bring jobs, it's going to bring money to the area as well.
Yeah.
This time, the struggle isn't just against the government. It comes from within.
You're not allowed to talk about it.
Oh no, that's taboo.
What does change cost? And who pays the price?
Welcome to Beyond Borders.
A yoik isn't just a song. These melodies are about connections to ancestors, to the land, to animals and the past. They were the threads that joined generations of Sami for thousands of years. But those threads were frayed when the Norwegian state tried to silence them. Ingunn lives at the northernmost tip of Norway, in the house where she was born. Today she's a renowned Sami sculptor, a painter and illustrator. As a child, her dad taught her to be proud of who she really was, even though his generation was told to forget the past.
My father was very special. He himself had experienced that to be a Sami was not good.
Growing up, Ingunn only spoke Sami with her family. But like so many children in the 1950s, she was sent to a boarding school where her language and her identity and her voice were taken.
Doesn't it bring back painful memories for you?
It was a part of my life, and everyone wants some photos of the part of the life, although it hurts.
Ingunn only realised she was different when she spoke to another girl in Sami on her first day at school.
I tried to be the politest girl ever. Could you tell me where the toilet is? And she looked upon me. I thought perhaps she does not hear. So I asked once more if she knew. She looked very strange, and then she answered. But that was a language that I did not understand.
Banning Sami in schools was part of a state policy known as Norwegianisation. The goal was simple: to erase their culture in the name of nationalism.
At the time you were a child, you just perhaps accepted this is the way it is.
Yeah, I had to. If I had lived all the life that I have lived, then I would be very angry. And then I would demand to have the possibility to speak my own language. But we did not know about it.
There was one group of Sami spared the worst of assimilation: the nomadic reindeer herders. We meet Nils at his cabin, overlooking the area where his herd roams.
Ja poisotollu oli vette vähän eralakan. Tali rakkami johtaa li helli milti ja li chaalaati helli faarusta hilen lahkake niemo merra saammenas. No että taaroiduhten ta politiikka hi kossike olaan. Tänne poisosaamelle jäin kun tali ihan tällän kaunamisen.
Life here follows the rhythm of the reindeer. It's an ancient understanding between people, the land and the animals. Modern tools make finding the herd much easier. Reindeer have sustained the Sami for centuries, providing them with food and clothing, tools and transport.
Niels's family has been working this land for centuries. When I met him at the cabin, he said that that's not his home, that's just a place where he goes to shelter. This is really his home.
Vaadsi teuskin, mutta hiljas nuoruus. Nuo ne empo.
But Nils says his way of life is under threat from what he calls green colonialism. That is the use of Sami land to build wind farms, hydroelectric dams, and to mine minerals for Europe's electrification.
You can't save the world, destroying it. They take grazing land from us, bit for bit.
Because they would say it's going to bring jobs, it's going to bring money to the area as well.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, a copper mine is opening, promising prosperity for the community. But at a protesters' camp nearby, environmental activists are planning their next move.
We've been experimenting a little bit with new forms to demonstrate. Every minute that we stop them from detonating in the mining area is an hour or a minute that they don't destroy indigenous land, and they are also further away from dumping toxic mining waste into the fjord.
Fines for disrupting work at the mine run to the thousands, but they continue to resist.
The police has really stepped up their actions against us, so they have people there 24/7. So getting in there right now is quite difficult.
They're fighting for people like Einar, who's one of the few sea Sami still fishing in the waters nearby, where there is cod, salmon, and king crab to be found.
The king crab is coming from Russia. Yesterday we have about 200 of this size.
King crab used to be seen as an invasive species that would upset the ecosystem. But today they're a lucrative delicacy known as Norway's red gold.
Well, we came looking for king crabs. I think we might have found the king of crabs right here. Look at the size of that thing.
But Einar is really worried that history will be repeated if the same mine waste that polluted these waters in the 1970s does so again.
It's taken nearly 40 years to the fish to come back. I think it's hopeless if they start dumping. But you know, it's the cheapest way. It's from the top and down in the sea. Nobody see it, it's away.
We got word late last night that the Sami protesters are going to be back at the copper mine this morning, planning some sort of action. So we're getting back over there to see what's happening.
Simre is traversing the hillside to avoid the police and find the other protesters. They've moved their blockade to one of the mine's access roads.
So now we're just coming to the place that we're trying to block. You can start to see like some white containers here. So when we block them, they can't really do any detonations in the mine. So it's like one of the components, so it's not dangerous on its own, but when it's mixed, it's used to detonate in the mine.
The police seem reluctant to do anything in front of our cameras.
You're about the same age as them. Maybe you're younger than the protesters as well. Do you understand what they're doing here?
Yes, I do.
You get it. So it must be hard for you sometimes.
But I'm just doing my job, you know.
Sure.
So, and we are also here so that everyone are safe.
After we've gone, the protesters are eventually removed from their scaffold. But they promise to return. At the nearby entrance to the mine, the mayor argues that its benefits far outweigh the environmental concerns.
We were out with a fisherman who was telling us that the toxins or the runoff, the waste that's going to be dumped into the fjord will actually go to the bottom of the seabed, which will kill anything that's down there, which includes the king crab, which is so important here.
Yeah. Well, the king crab is a foreign animal also. It hasn't been king crab here when I was a kid. So this is also something that has come crawling over the border from Russia. So I'm not concerned about that at all. And they have been researching for this fjord and testing this fjord for 10 years before they give the permission. So all the scientists and everybody said that this will be okay.
We've been through this in the 70s when it was originally shut down, but what's changed since?
Well, it's been a lot of progress in technology. So they say now that it's so small amount of copper and residues of it, and also that the deposit should be far away out in the fjord, not inside here as the old one was.
How many jobs is it going to create?
Well, in this phase we are now with mining, it's about 60 to 80 person, but when they are in the further development, we will see there are 200 to 300 working spaces.
Okay, how many of those will go to local people?
And most as we can. But the problem we have here is that we don't have so many people to choose from. Right. So in the beginning, we will of course have people coming from the other part of northern Norway.
This isn't the first time that Sami land has been affected.
We're on our way to the scene of a huge protest in the 1970s. Thousands of Sami protesters were opposed to the creation of a dam that they said would encroach upon their land and even flood one of their villages. 500 police officers had to be drafted in to keep the peace. One protester tried to blow up a bridge, lost his hand in the process.
The Alta dam was finished in 1987. Today it generates hydroelectric power for 25,000 Norwegian homes. But this is also a monument to a watershed moment in Sami history.
This was a dam planned to be upscaled way bigger than the current dam is.
Klaus is our guide. He's part Sami, but his relationship with his heritage is complicated.
When you see the Sami people opposing the copper mine, the wind turbine, saying this is our land, are they not standing in the way of progress?
Yes and no. That is the big question. Where does the progress destroy a culture? So from my perspective, this is a question of how can you have these two things living side by side? How can you have the progress but still maintain the culture? So it's always about finding a balance. And I think it's important to have, if we're going to have this progress up here, we also need to find a balance between preserving but also development.
The Alta Dam protests would pave the way for political recognition.
It wasn't until the 60s and the 70s that the rights of the Sami people really entered the mainstream conversation in Norway. After years of Norwegianisation, finally the Sami language could be taught in schools. But with no legislative power, the Sami parliament functions as an advisory, a lobby group to influence the Norwegian government.
The Sami aren't just one single group. They're made up of communities spread right across Norway, Sweden, Finland and Russia. The reindeer herders came to symbolise the romanticised version of Sami identity. But there are also sea, river, forest and urban Sami. The Sami's animosity isn't just aimed at the government though, but at their own hierarchy. The Sea Sami say their connection to ancestral waters deserves the same recognition as the reindeer herders. And this isn't just a cultural tension, it's a political quarrel over land, resources and who really embodies the Sami identity. Toril built her business foraging this land and walking the old paths of her ancestors.
And this also have a lot of, medicine, healing. I collect it for the flavors.
She's been told she's not Sami enough because her family lost the language generations ago.
Do you need to be able to speak Sami to be Sami?
No, not at all. I think about 70–80% of the Sami people doesn't speak Sami. But of course, other political parties, they don't like that we say that you don't have to speak it. Mm-hmm. Even though very many people today want to learn it again, to take it back again as a language.
They would say you're not Sami enough.
Oh, I have heard that all my life. It's especially when you don't speak the Sami language and you don't have reindeers, then it's like, that's not good. Then you're not a proper Sami.
Is there a hierarchy inside the Sami culture?
but we are not talking about
it. Is it a class system?
Oh yes, definitely.
But you're not allowed to talk about it?
Oh no, that's taboo. That's very taboo to talk about. For many Sami people, it's like the reindeer herders are up there and we other are lower down.
Okay.
And it doesn't fit very well with the society we have today, but that's the way it has been.
When she was a child, Sami culture was also taboo in Toral's home. Her parents were ashamed of who they really were. But in the years after the opening of the Sami parliament, Toral became an influential politician.
I've spoken to young Sami activists who've gone to copper mines. They've chained themselves to machinery. Do you support the civil disobedience?
I can understand what they are doing, yes, but I would never do the same myself. For me, it's the negotiation, it's the politics who is the important. If we are going to start to demonstrate for absolutely everything, then we will not be taken seriously.
At the Riddu Riddu festival, where they celebrate Sami culture, a new generation of environmental activists are being trained in passive resistance.
Oh yeah, this is good technique.
Nearby, a political debate is underway between presidential hopefuls. Vibeke wants to challenge the established order.
No indigenous people are more privileged than the Sami people.
And argues reindeer Sami have always enjoyed preferential treatment.
Sami reindeer husbandry is important, but you can't run the show alone. We are a big Sami family and we have to decide together.
But her opponent says the reindeer Sami arguably have the most to lose.
The mineral activities, they are often run by companies and owners who we don't see them. It's a big footprint with pollution, and it also corrupts the grazing areas of the reindeers. We have to find a pathway that is sustainable for us. And the government, they have a responsibility towards safeguarding our possibility to have a future for our way of life, culture and practices.
For decades, the Sami language and their culture was suppressed under Norwegianisation. Fast forward to today, they're teaching it in schools. I'm here to go and attend a class.
Hello, my name is Adam. Heja munamala Adam.
Heja mana Adam. I'm failing this class already.
Mu namma
le Adam. I got the Adam.
A class like this would have been unimaginable for their grandparents' generation.
My mom, for example, she only started learning the Sami language in 8th grade because her dad, even though he also speaks Sami, he didn't really like her learning the language. Because of that, my mom also has encouraged me to speak the language and learn it.
Your generation is fired up more than ever.
Well, I'm thankful for that I can learn this language because I know that my parents and my grandparents, they weren't allowed to learn the language.
Sometimes when I'm told people that I am Sami, then they ask like, do you live in a lavvo? And do you have reindeers?
What do you say to them?
I live in a house, and even though I am a Sami, I don't have reindeers.
Their teacher Barrett says this is as much about changing stereotypes as it is about the language.
We're proud, we're strong, and we use the language as much as we can.
What's your hope for their generation taking forward the Sami culture that they're so proud of now?
And my hopes are that they'll continue to be Sami, to show it, to not hide it away, that they continue the old traditions, the old language.
From the rural north to the capital city of Oslo now, which is where we meet Ronald, who discovered his Sami identity later in life. As Norway rebuilt in the aftermath of the Second World War, his grandparents' generation was given an ultimatum. Give up your language and culture, or forfeit land and property rights.
My father didn't want to be a Sami. He said, no, we are not Samis.
Ronald had no idea about his father's secret shame until the end.
Just before he died, I realized that he spoke fluently Sami, and he told me all his life he couldn't a word. He didn't know any word. But then when he got sick and had a stroke, because he was at this care facility in northern Norway, I was living here, and I called that place, and this woman, she was a Sami nurse, I think, and she shouted to my father in Sami, and I could hear him answer her, and I was like, excuse me, is my father speaking Sami? And she was like, huh? What do you mean? He speaks fluently Sami. And I was like, then I was shocked. I also felt betrayed, because I was like, oh my, really? You, my father, and you had your first language was Sami, and you never told me. I never knew. How much things were they hiding from me? I don't know. They are all dead now, so...
It's not something you'll ever be able to fully reconcile with them then?
No, I don't think so. Sometimes people say to me, but this is the past and you can't be angry. But still, when I talk about it, it's like, damn it, I should have... Why couldn't I learn the language? Why was I outside of this?
I think what makes you a really important voice in this story, not just your Sami roots, your Sea Sami roots, is that you found a very effective way to deal with what is a very difficult topic as well, and that is satire. In one of the videos, you're forced to eat a Norwegian flag. Can you explain that to me?
Yeah. My co-creator Mats in the video, he's representing the Norwegian guy. And he, at the scene with the cutlery where I eat with my hands, the scene ends with him forcing me to choke on the Norwegian flag. And this is a scene that I have had lots of old Norwegians, white Norwegians, not Samis, they hate that scene.
They thought you went too far?
Yeah,
Why?
they think that I'm really being, how do you say, I'm shaming the Norwegian flag, I'm not being a proper Norwegian. It's like I've been violating the Norwegian...
Are they missing the point?
Absolutely. This is how it felt. We got that flag down our throats all the time, and we had to, in a way. We had no choice.
The Skolt Sami traditionally hail from the borderlands of Norway, Finland and Russia. Wartime displacement and forced assimilation nearly erased them. Today, Hannah Maria is one of only a few hundred people left who still speak their language.
I'm actually taking back my language. I'm not learning a new language. It was something that has been part of me when I was a child. So when I thought nobody understood me or my words, it was all, I was speaking in using the Skolt Sami words that I knew. But I thought that it was just a dialect from north. The culture was taken from me without really asking.
She arranges a dancing demonstration for us, with a little surprise audience participation.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, spin it. Right, here we go. Right, we're getting into it now.
It is about having fun. It is more like a game than a dance. It's like when you use the Skolt Sami language, you use the word siorrat, which is to play and have fun, and it is very important, especially we have the youngsters dancing. So that is the way to keep it going from generation to generation.
Back at the tip of Norway, Ingunn is showing us her workshop, where her artwork often blends natural and man-made materials. Sadly, most of her early work as a student was lost in a house fire.
It is the only two that I have left from that.
They seem to be hiding their identity.
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
It was a reaction, suddenly I felt, against what I have experienced in my life. And then 2 years later, I made this one. Then I am a proud woman.
For generations, the Sami were told to forget their language, their land, and their ancient ways. The wounds of that injustice are still felt. From the tundra to the fjords, From classrooms to festivals, they are remembering what was nearly lost, some reclaiming it, others struggling with holding on to the old while finding harmony with the new. But pride alone can't protect them. Norway calls it progress. For the Sami, the cost is measured in land, language, and what could be lost next.